Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. So this is how our index would be looking like for Apex. So it would be divided into basically three parts. Okay, there would be Apex. Okay, and then there would be integrations, and then there would be LWC. That means front end. Okay, so that's how we are dividing this development journey throughout, and Apex further would be divided into some parts, synchronous, asynchronous, and Apex triggers. Okay, but that all is part of Apex itself. Okay, so we'll be starting from initials. We'll be seeing those tools that we are going to use. Okay, and then we'll be doing a little bit walk through how and why we use this customization. Customization means using code instead of drag and drop tools provided into Salesforce. Okay. So same thing, if you're having any question anywhere, you just raise your hand. Okay, you can ask your question, not a problem. Okay, now this index will be following up, okay, throughout the development journey of uh, this Apex development journey. Okay, and then further we'll be using integration index, and then third one will be LWC index, okay, in which we are going to cover LWC and JavaScript as part of front-end development. Okay, so let's see about environments that we are going to use. Okay, and not only environments, the tools that we are going to use. Obviously, we'll be setting a VS Code as well. Okay, and we'll be seeing some extra tools. Those are available today to code. Okay, although all are mostly based on VS Code, but anyway. Now let's see some inbuilt tools that we are getting. So for Apex, we will be using inbuilt tools, okay? And then as soon as we're moving forward, we'll use VS Code as well, okay? So that you have knowledge of both at least. Now, what I will do, let me log into my okay. So till here we have seen most of the things into setup, okay? And there we use those tools, those are available here to configure things, okay? A little bit logical things, those are available in the flows. We have seen those also, okay? So flows are kind of bridge between configuration and customization, means drag and drop and code. Okay, so there you'll be finding drag and drop feature as well as logic also, okay, to build. So same way, once you are aware of flows, mostly you are aware of logic, the same logic that you are going to write into Apex sometimes, but with more flexibility, with more you can say loose boundaries. Okay, so flows are having restrictions as they are drag and drop tools, right? So they are kind of top layer over Apex. Okay, so same kind of logic also you are going to use. Just you have to learn about how to write the code. That's it. And thought process would be same, just like you were thinking into Apex building. Okay, so first of all, we have to see where we can find the Apex code. Okay, so in your setup as well as in your this setup button, both places you are having the Apex access. So here, if you go into Apex, okay, although mostly you'll be using your console, but in Apex here in this setup, you'll be finding all the classes listed here. Okay, maybe sometimes you have to delete and everything, you'll be finding it here. Okay, all the classes. Okay, so here you have some buttons. The use I will be telling you going further. Okay, so just in your setup Apex classes, here you have all the classes listed. Okay, now you can do a new class from here. Okay, you can generate from WSDL and all those things you can do. We'll be telling you later what those things are. Okay, but Apart from here, most of the times you have to work over developer console. Okay, so here you have developer console. Here you can click and you can go to developer console. That is also fine. Okay, or directly from here also you can go to developer console. Okay, so once you are clicking, it is going to open in a new window like that. Okay, if you don't want that, just click in this with control. Okay, and I think command in MacBook, I'm not sure. Okay, like this, it will be opening a new tab instead of new window. Okay, now that's how your console would be looking like. So Apex related work you can do here. Okay, not Apex related only, you can do all of the development related work here apart from LWC. Okay, because LWC supports web development through CLI. Okay, so that you have to develop over VS Code. Okay, or any other IDE. Okay, that I'll be telling you to set up. I think in the index itself we have that set up. Okay, now let's get introduced with this console where you'll be working a lot. Okay, so what happens, like if you're having small changes and everything, every time you don't set up that particular project in your VS Code, right? Every time your ID, any ID apart from VS Code, you can use any other ID as well. Okay, so you just come here directly, make changes and everything. So that's why you should be knowing this also. Otherwise, whatever we are going to do here, okay, all that we can do using ID, any other ID. Okay, so let's see what things we are going to access here frequently. Let's get introduced with that, and then we'll be starting a little bit building those classes and logics. Okay, so here you are having some drop downs, you can say. Okay, and here you are having some tabs. Okay, so mostly you'll be visiting in these. Okay, so and this is your workspace. Obviously, this is default workspace. Okay, so if you see here, you are having workspace related tabs. So you can create your own workspace as well. Okay, you can name current workspace. Okay, or you can see what workspace are available and everything. So it is same way, just like workspace, and you can let things be here like that in a particular way. Okay, and once you are going to use that workspace again, things would be like that. Okay, so the visibility, the sections that you are going to add and everything, that would be like that. So you can set up your workspace if you want. Otherwise, mostly people use default workspace only because they don't customize or they don't personalize that much. Okay, this one personalization usually they do over IDE. Okay, so simple here. Okay, you can create your workspace like that, and if you want, you can use the workspace same. Okay, help section is there. uh, Mostly you will be using developer guide instead of this help section, but anyway. Okay, some little short keys and everything are there. If you see shortcut keys and everything, those are there that you can read out. Okay, mostly we'll be using those short keys that I'll be telling you. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, now here in file, you'll be visiting a lot. Okay, from here you can create all these things. You see, you can create class, trigger, visual page, component, static resource, lightning application, component, interface, event token, but you don't get here lightning web component. Okay, because that you are going to create using ID. Okay, now anything to open, you can use this open, and you can uh, use short keys as control plus O. Okay, maybe in MacBook command plus O. Okay, like this. So this is your little browser. Okay, that will let you browse through the things that you can create here. Okay, so whatever you can create, you can open those things here also and modify those also. So same way you see classes, triggers, page component, objects, static resources, packages. Okay, so very important here. Obviously, all things you are going to access here, but if you see object here, we are having also objects. Okay, and that is very important. In most of the cases, not most of the cases, I would be saying, but a lot of places you have to access object definitions from here. Okay, and I'll tell you at the time of uh, putting query and everything here, I'll tell you how to read objects because all objects are not available over object manager. Okay, and those objects here also you can see like system object and everything. Okay, So all those you can see here, like I'm in object, right? If I type permission set, okay, so permission set is also object. Everything is an object, okay, so permission set is also object. If I double click here, you see I can see here. So just don't want to drag into all this, because anyway I'm going to cover it. Just telling you that all things, all objects you can browse here, okay, and that will help you write code as well, okay. Why? Because in code you'll be using either let it be system object or a non-system object, okay. Uh, you'll be coding for both, okay, so you have to read the definition as well, okay, API names, definitions, relationship, and all those things, okay, so that you are going to browse through here, okay, but we'll be covering that, don't worry about it, okay. This is like your little browser, okay, and you can use control O here, okay, and then this would be opening, and apart from that you can just open any of those, okay, just double click on that and it will be opening, correct? Any questions still here, guys? Anyone? Correct. Now the third one is open resource. So this is like direct opening by its name. Okay. So all the resources you are going to find here. Okay. So in this one, and the shortcut is Control Shift O. Okay. And here you type the thing. Just type it, and you are going to find it. And it can be anything. It can be class, object, trigger, visual force, anything. But that would be found through name, okay, and you see if you're putting star, okay, then it would be taking as anything. I'll tell you how to search, okay, but that's how it is, okay. Now here you see you are having extensions dot apxc, apex, okay, and dot obj object, and for triggers you get apxt, I believe, okay, and that's how you are going to see extension. That's how you are going to know what you are going to open and what you are accessing actually, okay. So this is directly opening the resources. That's also you are going to use it like you know your Apex class name. Just you are going to put Control Shift P, sorry, Control Shift O, and then you are going to type that class name here. Directly open it from here. Okay, that's how it should be. Okay, so that's how you can open it from here. Okay, lightning resources we are not building here, but anyway if you're clicking on that, so that's how you can open any of the aura. Okay, so aura we are not going to build, we are not going to discuss, so it is not going to be. Okay, log and everything I'll tell you how to open right now, since we are not into any class. Okay, so that's how it is like that. Save all, same way. Uh, you can use Control S or Control Shift S. If you are having multiple tabs open and you want to save into all, then you can use these. Okay, mostly you'll be using this Control S. All the place, I think this is same. Okay, so Control S you use in this uh, editor as well as in your IDE. Control S is same every time. So if you are making any changes into code and then you are saving it, you have to use Control S, okay, or you can come here and do this save also, not a problem, okay. Then delete, pretty obvious, okay. Close, so like if you are opening something, okay, and then you want to close it, okay, then for that you are having this, okay, and you can use close all, means if you are having multiple tabs open, for that you can use close all. So this tab, file tab, you are going to use a lot, okay. So normal things that you are having here, okay, that you are going to use, okay. Same things we are going to discuss over IDE as well, okay, but that would be pretty much same as here, okay. Then after that you are having edit here. Here you can find replace and all same things, okay. So mostly you'll be using these Control F, okay, Control Shift F also to replace, okay, and then find replace as Control Shift R. Maybe in our editor I'll be showing you how to do that, okay. So once you want to find some text into any of the code that you are having here open, okay, so then you go to edit tab and you can use all these things, okay. And then if you want to search into files, you can search into files here, okay. And indentation, everything like code formatting, okay, you can use this Shift tab or Control L tab, okay. So this would be trying to fix your indentation if you're having, okay? Indentation means lining, okay, lining and spacing that it is going to fix, that you can try that, okay. Debug, here is also very important. Okay, this open execute anonymous window, that is very important. Okay, so although I'm going to cover it, how to access it, how to execute things from here. Okay, all that I'm going to cover. Okay, just telling you from here you are going to access this. Okay, and then right now I'm just telling you this, then later let me write the code, and then I'll execute it from here. Okay, at that time anyway I have to come here. Okay, so here you are having debug section. Test section, as you might be aware of already, that if you are writing any apex, you have to write the test as well. Okay, into apex form itself. Okay, why? Because once you are going to deploy it to production, it would need a code coverage, as well as you have to test the functionality and features as well. Okay, so it should not be like that you have tested and it is breaking. Okay, that's why it's a mandate that you have to uh, cover a certain percentage of code. Okay, 75% it is, but companies are having norms more than 90%. Okay, now then workspace, same thing, help, same thing. Okay, we are having these many things here, and other things as soon as those are going to come here, like test and everything. So once we are going to cover test classes and testing your apex, at that particular time I'll be telling you. So running tests from IDE, we don't do it here. Okay, although you can do. Okay, mostly every time we'll be running tests here, so everything I'm going to show you here. Okay, any questions still here, guys, about these drop downs that we are having? Any questions? Anyone? Okay. Now, here you can read all those tabs. Okay. Problems, obviously, once you are going to write the code, and if there is any issue over your code, it will highlight here with line number, class name, okay, and everything. Okay, class name or any entity name where you are writing actually. Okay, while compiling the code. So this code compiles whenever you are saving it. Okay, and if there is any compilation error, it will mention that here. Okay, now progress, you are not going to see like that here every time, but once you are running any process, you are going to see that progress here. Okay, so that also will be showing you. Okay, view state, not you are going to use directly here. Okay, maybe in last I'll try to cover. Okay, directly while you are building apex class and everything, you are not going to use view state right now. I'll be telling you later what it is. Okay, query return, as part of apex we cover SOQL and social queries, also SOQL, SOSL, both we cover. Okay, so this section we are going to use for query. Okay, so how to access the data from your Apex? Because in Apex, ultimately what you are going to do, you are going to process the data, build your logic, and then process the data is fetch or push. Okay, both options you will be having. So query language is something that you use to do fetching. Okay, and then data manipulation language, DML, that's what we got. Okay, we are going to use to push things into database. So we are going to interact with database. Okay, and in order to do that we use queries, and what your query is exactly returning or how your query is performing, that you test here in query editor. Okay, although there are modern tools as well, that also I will be walking you guys. Okay, so in older sessions I have not covered those tools, but now those are pretty much advanced. Okay, so we'll be using those tools also, we'll be showing you those also, because most of the time you're going to use those tools. Okay, like inspector and everything that you are going to uh, use there. Okay, every time you don't have to come here and use query data. Okay, then checkpoints in your code, you can put checkpoints. I'll be telling you sometime how you debug. Okay, so this is debugging is, you can say, very crucial part of writing code. Okay, so you can be given task also over your organization, that debug this code, why this issue is coming up, debug this code, why it is failing. Okay, why this bug is there, and you have to find out. Okay, maybe you are not getting error, but the result is not expected. Okay, so all those cases you have to see how your code is performing. Okay, what you are getting at every checkpoints. Okay, and why exactly the output is not matching with your expected output. Okay, so all those things are called debugging, and we'll be doing those debuggings as well. Okay, we'll be teaching you throughout the development sessions how to debug the things. That is most important thing for a developer. Okay, then test will be coming here. Once you be running test, we'll be seeing our results and directory that is created for any other test that you run. Okay, so that also we are going to see here. Then logs, any execution that you do or any process you do or Salesforce, logs are generated. But here you'll be seeing some specific logs, okay? And we'll be telling you how you can generate logs for any user, how you can generate logs for what kind of things and everything that we are going to show you from here as well as from your debug log as well, okay? So how to read the logs, okay? Developer logs, how to read those and how to uh, basically extract information from those and how to put information into your code so that is printed into logs and you can later relate that information to finally assess if your code is working fine or not. Okay, so here we'll be reaching logs. So these tabs you are going to visit multiple times, so don't worry about it if you are facing a little bit complexions or you are sensing some complexions here. Okay, so you are going to visit so many times that it would be pretty much handy for you. Okay, so this is your editor, code editor that you are having inbuilt in every or available with you. Okay, although now they are providing these vibes and everything also. Okay, agent 4 vibes and everything that you can try. Okay, but here we are discussing basics. Okay, so directly we are not going into agents or code suggestions and everything. I would be suggesting if you are having all those things turned on your ID or uh, your environment, you turn it off for now till we are finished discussing the basics. Okay, after that obviously you are free to use those. Okay, once you are having solid base build up already, then you can use multiple. Okay, anyway you have to use, that's not an option anymore, but for now, so that you can do what you are basically supposed to do, why you are here exactly. You can build your basics. Okay, and then you can use AI as well as any other agents, whatever you want. Okay, any questions still here, guys? Anyone? Okay, now I have shown you dev console, I have shown you setup apex access also. So in setup we'll be accessing more things as well. Okay, so let us go forward, and there we'll be letting you access more things also. Okay, since you think once you are writing apex, okay, you are having a lot of things here. Okay, apex settings, apex triggers, apex flex queue, apex jobs, okay, experiments, all those things that you are having. Okay, we'll be discussing more things here also. Okay, and slowly as we are going forward. Okay, now uh, VS Code, here if you see, we do the setup as well. Okay, and we explain the same things into VS Code as well. Okay, so let us reach there. Okay, till then we'll be discussing a little bit Apex class creation, so that from the VS Code as well I can create the same class and you can see how pulling and pushing is working. Okay, and then further we'll be continuing here. Okay, now uh, this is extension that also Lightning Studio you might have heard of. Okay, so that is extension, Google Chrome extension that you can use also for code editing. Okay, although I'm not recommending it for now. Okay, it has issues also. Okay, if you're not doing any quick fix or something like that, then you use your original IDE or your code inbuilt code editor. Okay, then if you are I mean, pretty much sure that you're not going to face an issue, use Lightning Studio. Okay. I used earlier for a lot of things. Now it is having a lot of issues resolved also, but anyway, I don't use Lightning Studio that much because it creates a problem related to code as well. I mean, some things it does not consider like that. Okay. So later you can use it. Right now you avoid it. Okay. So Lightning Studio is like just it should be a Chrome extension like this. Okay. So it would be opening like this, and this is also fine. I would believe it's not like that. Okay. So it's okay, but for now you don't use it. Okay. Later you can use it whenever we are done with all those things. Standards are your inbuilt code editor as well as your IDE that is related to that is using CLI. Okay, so these are standards. Lighting student everything. A lot of tools will be having available. Okay, but recommended Salesforce recommended tools are these. Okay, IDE VS Code is recommended by Salesforce. Based on VS Code, you have a lot of tools in the market. Okay, whatever you want, you can use it. That is not a problem. But recommended tool is VS Code and then your inbuilt code editor. Okay. Now, what is Apex? Okay. If you have any question here, guys, you can ask. Okay. We are moving into Apex a little bit. Let's discuss some of the Apex and then we'll be setting up VS Code. Okay. So for everything, you are going to get documents, as I told you earlier as well. Okay. So in development, you are going to get comparatively more documents that you had in admin section because here we have to document a lot of things since everywhere code is involved. Okay. Now, Apex is you can say just like in our language we use the backend language, front end language. So it is a backend language, just like Java. Okay. So you might have not heard of that much. Okay, I'm not talking about those guys who are already working Salesforce ecosystem. I'm talking about those are new to Salesforce ecosystem. Okay, they might have heard of Java, Python, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Okay, all those things. But Apex is also language that is based on Java syntax only. So if you are aware of Java a little bit, same thing you can say is used here in Apex as well. Okay, so it is mostly Java and easier than Java. Okay, so Apex is simple, just like Salesforce is simple. This is the power of Salesforce, right? Simplify everything. Otherwise, basically, it is going to take a lot of time for executions, okay, and building the things, and that's not what Salesforce basically stands for. So Apex is also very easy compared to Java, okay, and it's a backend language, obviously backend language that interacts with your database, okay, that runs over server, okay, and it does not run over your machine, okay. So once you are in browser, okay, so once JavaScript running, mostly JavaScript, all the browsers are JavaScript based. Okay, so JavaScript is running, it is running in your machine. Okay, there is no extra server for this. Okay, this is running in your machine. Okay, my laptop RAM is used, my processor, whatever my computer is having, that is used to show all these things to you. Okay, and in backend, what happens? Uh, you once you are executing it, it is running over some server, in this case Salesforce server. Okay, just like we have discussed earlier, right? It's a shared resource, right? So that Apex is running, or what, not Apex only, or any logic that you are running. Okay, so ultimately in backend it is having code as well, right? So everything is having code, even though if you are seeing as a UI drag and drop, everything is code behind. Okay, so it would be running over server, okay, not in your machine. Now, it is basically strongly typed and object oriented. So, what does it mean? Like, object oriented and strongly typed. Here is like we have variables, right? Basically, throughout the logic, once the logic is running, remember in Apex we were having variables, right? Or you can say to store the data throughout the transaction. Okay, once you are doing those calculations and everything, we are storing those values, okay, throughout the transaction, and then maybe we are processing it, maybe we are passing it somewhere or something like that. Okay, so data from one place to another place throughout the transaction. Okay, so here we'll be using transaction word just like in Apex, sorry, just like in flows. I was using transaction, although there you can call flow interview. Okay, both things are same, but in case of flows we call flow interviews. Okay, and here we call transactions. In mostly if developer is included, okay, they will call every time it's a transaction. Okay, so strongly type is like once you are having a variable in your code, okay, you have to declare the type. Okay, like if you are telling this is a variable, you have to tell at the time, same time, what type of data you are going to store in that. Okay, it's not like let's have the variable, later I'll decide, okay, what to store in it. Okay, but strongly typed languages are not like that. Okay, you have to tell like I will be storing a string in it, and this is a string type variable. Okay, so you have to tell like this. Okay, and then later you can only store strings on that. Okay, that's called strongly typed. And then there are loosely typed, just like JavaScript. So that we are going to discuss in LWC. So both types of languages you are going to see them. Okay, so strongly typed, object oriented. Here it's considered that everything is an object. Okay, so everything is having object and its properties. Okay, everything it sees the world as object oriented. Okay, like everything is an object in Salesforce as well. The whole Salesforce is object oriented. Okay, like anything, any process, any configuration, it will be dividing into objects and it would be storing in that form. So the language itself is object oriented. That's how it works with your object oriented structure. Okay, so that's object oriented. We'll be discussing more about objects. Okay, so everything is considered an object, even though if you are like using anything inside the Apex, everything is an object, even though your Apex is an object. Okay, so everything is considered an object. So don't confuse this object with your Salesforce object. Okay, so here we'll be calling those objects, those you consider here, right? These object managers here, these are not objects once we are calling those here. Okay, object, that's not an object. Okay, here in once we are in Apex, okay, we'll be calling these as S objects. Okay, S object means, although in layman we can call like account object, opportunity object, then you know what object we are talking about. Okay, but only once you are going to talk about object, then it is object as in coding. Okay, and once you are going to uh, use term for these objects that we are having in screen right now, these are S objects, means Salesforce objects. Okay, so in Apex we'll be using these terms, although you will be never confused. Okay, you don't worry about that. I'm just telling you that this is referred as S object, and here everything else will be object, that I will be telling you later where to see object and everything. Okay, so we'll be discussing OOPS concept as well, that we are going to discuss. Okay, so Apex language like Java, strongly typed, object oriented. Okay, and uses to execute code in force.com platform. Now you understand, right, that remember we discussed the platform, we discussed the software layer over that platform, the application. Okay, application layer. So our Salesforce is built over the force.com platform. Okay, and Apex is a language that directly interacts to the platform. Okay, now you remember that initial discussion that we were having, that Post.com is a platform, okay, and Salesforce is a built-in, not built-in actually, that is an application built over the Post.com. Just a second, guys. Guys, just give me 1 minute. Let me log in. Okay, so yeah. So that Apex interacts directly with platform. So that's how you get more flexibility or to customize the ability to customize the platform as well. Okay, platform is since the application is built over the platform. Okay, you can customize the application. That's how the Salesforce application itself can be customized. Okay, so you see, Apex classes are the building blocks where you define the behavior of your custom logic. So Apex is used where your logic limitations are hit in configuration. Okay, so we'll be slowly telling you how to build the logic. Okay, and then later we'll be telling you utilization as well. That is important, right? That where exactly you have to use the Apex. Okay, and why you are using Apex once you have solved most of the things using configuration. Okay, so all those things we are going to discuss. Okay, now we'll be talking about little you can say structure of Apex class, any class that you are going to write. Okay, mostly structure would be same, some things would be changing that we are going to discuss. Okay, so if I create a class name like something, so to create a new class, we'll be going to file new and Apex class here. Okay, so we can create anything right now. Maybe we'll be naming demo class. Okay, now if you see, I'm naming in a particular way. Okay, so once you are naming the class, you have to use this kind of nomenclature. Okay, so this is not a camel case. Okay, in this one, you are going to start from capital letter. Okay, and then every space you are going to replace whatever space, because here you cannot have spaces, right? Every space you can, yeah, yeah, you can ask a question.
Uh, in class name, we didn't use the camel case.
Yeah, that's what I'm explaining. That's what I'm explaining. So
For method,
in
for
class,
method, we
sorry.
for method we use that camel case, right?
Yes, correct. In method variables, we use camel case. Okay.
Okay,
So it's not exactly camel case, but in camel case, it would be camel case, but here the first word would be capital. Okay. And
right,
let me
right.
tell you, you are not going to face any error doing that. Okay. But these are standards that you have to follow. Okay. Why? Because you are not the only one who is going to write or read your code. Okay. A lot of other people will be doing that. So you should be knowing the standards. Okay. Now, every space you have two options. Okay, either you are removing the space and making it a capital letter, the next word, the next letter, sorry, or you can use underscore as well. So it's not like hard and fast rule. You can use underscore as well. People understand that. Okay, that it was a space and you are using underscore as well. So that is also acceptable. But mostly you try to use this format. Okay, where you are removing space by capitalizing next letter and first letter should be capitalized. Okay, later I'll tell you what is camel case. Okay, now you put the class name here and then okay, automatically it will create something like this. Okay, now here you are having public class and then the name that you have given, and these two curly braces, we call these curly braces. Okay, so this is like opening and closing. Between these you are going to write the code. Okay, now uh, we have to understand what these public and classes are. Okay, we'll be doing that, but let's see what structure that we are having here. Okay, now I'll copy these things till now. Okay, name is different little bit. Okay, and I'm pasting like this. So first thing here, if you see, we are having two type of you can say text here. Okay, first thing is like this, and then we are having this and this. Okay, now what is happening here? See, if you are having any issue in your code, that would be reflected in your problems. Okay, now if it is, you click here, you see it is having one. Okay, so and here in the line number also you are going to get this exclamatory sign. Okay, so it is telling you line number 7, and where you are having issue, name demo class. Okay, in this class you are having the issue. That's fine, let it be there. Okay, but here you are having some things. If you see, variable, okay, attributes or fields. So in objects, again, I am talking about Salesforce object. In Salesforce objects, you are having object and you are having its fields, correct? Same way, as I told you, Apex classes are considered as objects as well. Not considered, they are object. Okay, so that visualization you are not going to get now. You will be getting it once you'll be using wrapper classes. Okay, later. But these are objects as well. Okay, once you are having objects, then you can have fields of that objects as well. So that's why we call those attributes or fields. Okay, again we are talking about here objects, not as objects. Okay, as objects are also having same behavior, but we are having here objects and its fields. But variable declaration, variable initialization, everything I'm going to cover. I'm just telling you how to do have those. Okay, then later I'll be telling you what these things are, those we are using here. Okay, all things we are going to use. Tell me. Okay, now if so what will happen once I'm running this code? Okay, I'm trying to save this code consider. Okay, so what I'll be doing, I'll be doing like this, control S. Now it will be trying to save. See, while it is saving, it will be compiling the code, that there is no error. Okay, so it will check for error. So this is default behavior. Now you see, unless you are not having zero problems here, code cannot save. It is not saved. Okay, if I close it right now, you see it is having star in here. Okay, star in here means it is not saved right now. It has some issue, that's why it did not get saved, because once I used save or control S, okay, it should be saving. But since it is having a compilation error, that's why it is not saving. The code will save only if it is having zero errors. Okay, so now we'll be resolving the error. I know the error. What is the error? Okay, it's small issue. Since I have copy pasted the code, that's why it is having issue. Okay, now let's see that. I'll copy it, paste it here. Now I'll save it. Okay, control S I have done. Now it is saving. Okay, and once the compilation error is gone, okay, let's save, then it will be saving. Okay, now you see that star is gone. Okay, now we are having code saved. This code compiled correctly. Okay, now if I close it and again if I have to open it, okay, what I'll do, directly I will be opening this and then I'll be putting like demo class, and here I am having this. Okay, double click, open it. Okay, now it was saved. Earlier if it was not saved, I had it discarded, okay, then it would not be saved, right? It would be opening whatever was saved. Okay, same thing for this, control open class, demo class, here you are having, double click, open it, same way. Okay, now in this one, this is called class
So,
declaration. Yeah,
Abhishek, it is showing a error on the seventh line. How is it get resolved?
you don't worry about that because that's not something that we have discussed. Okay, it's a constructor. We are having total documentation of our constructor. Okay, how to use constructor, And what if you are not having constructor? Every
Okay,
discussion
okay.
happens. Okay?
Got it. I think that name as a similar as a class name, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And
So
before that, you are using a different name. That's why.
exactly, exactly. So
Okay,
it seems like you are aware of Apex, right? So that's
got
why.
it.
Who does not know, they might be thinking what I'm doing. That's why I'm not talking anything about constructor right now. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So that was the thing. I copied the name here, class name here. That should be same for any of the constructor. Okay. Now, uh, now here we are having first line here that is called class declaration. Okay. So while you are doing a class declaration, okay, uh, you will be having class name. Okay. Before class name, you should be having class keyword. This is a keyword. You see, it is differently colored here. Okay. In your IDE as well, you are going to get this differently um, colored. And let me tell you, those are differently colored here. All those are reserved keywords. Okay, reserved keywords of any languages are those you cannot use as your own name. Like if I try to name this class as class, correct? That I cannot do because it would be telling me that it's a reserved keyword. Okay, so I'm changing name here. So some error it is going to be. Say expected token class, invalid constructor name, demo class. Let me change this also. It would not do anyway. We know that. Okay, so that's why the problem is that this is a reserved keyword here. Okay, so problem that we are creating for this code that I'm using result keyword as my own name. Okay, so like public is also result. Okay, a string, integer, all those things we are having a lot of whatever code, whatever your Apex consider as a result keyword that you cannot use as a name of anything. So you are going to name what? You are going to name either class, okay, method, or variable. That's it. Okay, you are going to give your own name, and while naming all these three things, okay, you cannot use result keyword. Okay, so whatever result keywords here that you are going to have here, those are going to have different colors, or basically you should be knowing what those result keywords are. Slowly you will be getting aware of it. Okay, if you're not knowing it. So you see, this is data type, this is also result, this is return type, this is also result. Okay, this is also a result. Okay, so this is a class that is already there. Okay, so this is also a result. So that kind of things are there, those you cannot use. Otherwise you can use any other things, that's not a problem. Okay, so while you are having these result keywords, you are naming your class, so your class name and then your keyword. Now it is a keyword, right? Class keyword, that's why you are telling them that this is the class. Okay, now here you'll be having some other things as well, time to time. Okay, that will be discussing, but for now declaring a class would require at least these things. Okay, so later we'll be having more keywords and more things here. Okay, that time to time I'll be telling you why we are having this and what is the utilization of that. Okay, but to create any other class, this thing is called class declaration, and this is access modifier. So we have the whole discussion about access modifier, I believe. Or in this itself I'm having access modifier is kind of top level security. I'm talking about access modifiers in class right now. Okay, not about variables and methods and constructors. Okay, so this is like who can access this. Okay, so access modifier, like this is the class that would be having this kind of visibility. Okay, who can access this class. Okay, so the logic is written here. Again, who can access this logic, so that would be derived by this keyword that you are having, and this is called access modifier. So access modifier, class keyword, and then your class name. This much is required at least to declare any of the class. Okay, so now access modifiers are here. You are having three levels. Okay, public, private, and global. There is one more, protected, but we don't use that much. Okay, these three levels are there. Okay, public, private, global. What does that mean? Okay, once you are using public, that class would be, so we are talking about the class level only. Okay, this method level will be telling you what this means. Okay, uh, it means similar things, but the scope is a little bit different, that I'll be telling. Okay, we are talking about this class level right now. Okay, so once you are having public here, okay, then you will be having the class visible and accessible throughout your org. Okay, in your application means obviously the class you're creating in your org. So throughout the application or throughout your org, that class would be accessible. Okay, now once you are having private, we can say access modifier over the class, then obviously the class itself is private, it cannot be used anywhere else. Okay, and if I'm having any class inside the class with access modifier private, then inside this class only, consider that I have another class here, okay, that I am mentioning as private. Okay, like this. Okay, like this. So this, some other class that I'm having inside this class, that I can use inside this class only because it is private. If it was public, okay, then I could have used it anywhere in the org. Okay, by calling this, there is a way, particular way to call this class. Okay, that is another thing, but I could have used it. But if it is private, then that means its scope is still here only. Okay, where we are declaring it. Okay, so that's how this private means. If I'm mentioning this as private, I cannot call this class anywhere. Okay, this is private. So most of the test classes we write like that. Okay, because test classes you are not going to use anywhere, you are just going to run it for testing, that's it. Okay, so in test classes we mention private, although it's optional, but mostly you use private. Why to use public if it is going to fulfill your purpose as private only? Okay, then you are having global. Global means outside Salesforce, or you are exposing that particular class. That also we do here. And in what cases we are going to do here? That global access modifier. Once you are building a class for outside resources, okay, like REST APIs. In integration, we discussed that we use that and we create and maintain those. Okay, so global, why? Because once some other system is calling your REST API. REST API is basically a class. Okay, different annotations are there and all those things, but ultimately it is a class. Okay, so API means uh, like it's outbound and inbound connection, right? So once you are calling any other system, that is outbound. Once some other system is calling your system, that is inbound. I'm talking about integrations. Okay, so some other system is considered that calling your API that you have built here. Okay, it's custom API considered that you have built here. Then that class you have to mention as global. Why is that? Otherwise, if it is public and the entity that is accessing that particular API, it would be outside the organization and it would be rejected because that security is not there. The global is not, access modifier not there. The public is there, and the entity that is trying to access is outside the org. Okay, so there we use global. So public, private, and global. Okay. Now, if you are having top level as public, then inner level you can have uh, what you say, like, more protected, not a problem. Okay, like I can have private, I can have public. Okay, but if uh, I try to have it global here, okay, this is a variable, correct? Variable is also having access modifier. Now you see. So I tried to save and I got one error. In the line number 6, we got the error. Defining type for global fields must be declared as global. Okay, so why defining type for global fields must be declared as global? What it is trying to say is that once you are having inner type as global, then outermost type cannot be public, and it's very logical, correct? Your class is accessible throughout the OR, but the variable you are trying to expose to the outside entities as well. That's not going to happen because someone first has to access the class, then only they can access the variable. Correct? Same thing for method also, right? So like if I try to go here, yeah,
So like this is as you mentioned, this is a kind of static block for us. So is I'm audible?
yes, I can hear you. Tell me.
So the thing is that as you mentioned, global in a static block. So like we can use a class name dot global. Is it possible?
Class name dot global.
Yeah, in a place of public, as you mentioned, global. No, no, no. In a static, in where you declare the variable string example variable.
Here.
Yeah,
No, 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 no. Static, we are not talking about. Static is different. Static we'll discuss. Okay. So let it be static or let it be non-static variable or method. Okay. Access modifier is something that will be directly looking into your class access modifier.
class. Okay. So if it is a global, then we can use a public private both. If it is a
Correct.
private, if it is a private, then we can't use public and global both.
Correct.
If we use a public, then we use a private under it. But if we only mention a global, then we can use rest, right?
Exactly. Meaning that top level security cannot be what is it like more restrictive than the inner level. Okay. So you cannot say like my basically class is having private and my variables and methods are public. That's not possible. If it is private, all can be private only. Correct. If it is public, just like you said, it can be private or public, not global. That's what error we are getting here, correct? And if it is global, then obviously you can have variables private, public, and global as well, because the top level is global itself, just like you said, correct? It's clear? Okay, I cannot hear you, but if you have further question, you can ask. Okay. So the thing is like once now see in the method I'm trying to put global here, but same thing is going that okay global method must be declared as global. The defining tag means the class itself should be global. If I make it global, okay, the class I'm making global right now, and I saved it. Okay, now it is compiling. Now see the error is gone. Okay. Now we are having class level as global. This class can be accessed either from outside or inside the Salesforce. Okay. And then we are having private, public, and global all. But if I make it public, then I cannot have global inside the class. Okay. And if I mention private here, then I should be having all as private. I cannot even have public here. Okay. So class cannot be
Abhishek,
yes.
like majorly as we see maximum time we use public only. So
Mhm.
like what are the scenarios we use a global?
As I told you, na, in REST APIs, it is mandatory. Once you are going, REST APIs is basically class. I'm not sure if you have created any of the REST API. Okay, so that we cover as part of our development sessions. Okay, so REST API for whom you are going to be. If I tell you why you are going to create the REST API. Okay, this is one of the use case I'm telling you. Okay, that why you are going to create the REST API. So obviously, so that other system can call it. Okay, other system can call your system through that REST API. Correct. Now they cannot use any of the class which is private or public. Correct, because they are not from your private. Obviously, they cannot use, and they are not from your org. Correct. Consider SAP system is calling your Salesforce. Right. You cannot have any of the public access modifier defined class here. Okay, accessed by that system because that is outside org. Correct. But if that is global, they can access it. That is the main reason. So in those cases, you are going to mention global access modifier. Some other cases
So
are also there where you package the application. Okay, so packaging we cover very few you can say part of that packaging we cover. That's very vast, you can say segment also. Okay, where you basically package everything. Okay, and there if you want your class to be utilized outside your package, okay, so that is namespace. I did not want to bring in, but anyway, if you're asking that question. So your org can be identified by a namespace also. Okay. Have you used namespace? I'm not sure who asked this question. Ayush, is it?
Yes, yes.
You have used any org that is having namespace?
Sorry,
You have used any org that is having namespace?
namespace. I didn't get what are you saying about namespace?
Okay. So namespace is like any org, not sandboxes. Okay. Any
Okay,
org and developer edition orgs, okay, can have
okay.
their own unique namespaces. Okay.
So we can just change it via the like going to domain na?
No, 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 you cannot change it. It is only once registered. Okay. So you register that namespace and forever you are going to use that. Okay.
Can you
So
please just show it?
mm, okay. So here you see namespace settings. Okay. In package manager.
Okay,
So not all the organizations, but some organizations, those take basically their security to a top level, or basically they want to segregate every part of their development from a normal, or you can say common namespace. They create their own namespace. Okay. And a lot of people avoid that also. So namespace is like identifier of your org. Okay. So other orgs are there with namespace. Okay.
okay, okay. So I got it. Like in place of public, private, global, we can also create a namespace for our particular org as self, right?
No, 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 no. Access modifier is directly not related like that. Okay. So, okay, okay. So you know App Exchange, right? So any of the app over the App Exchange is going to have either common or basically now since we are having 2GP packaging also, okay, they are having a namespace. Every application is going to have namespace. Consider one thing: you are going to install a package from App Exchange, correct? That you might have done earlier, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that application is built by some other person. Maybe I have built that, correct? Just like we have built that
Okay,
package now here, this one, hotel management system. This can be released over the App Exchange, right? Now, consider that I give you this package to install, correct? Now,
okay,
while you are installing and you are having a class in that is called demo class. In this package
okay.
I'm talking about, and you are installing it, then what will happen?
Then
Guess
you
it. You can guess it, not a problem. Okay. If that package, if I'm installing this, all the entities involved in this, those are going to be installed in my org, right?
okay,
And if consider this package is having whatever I'm installing from App Exchange, it is having a demo class named class in that, right? And I also have a demo class in my org right now, correct?
okay.
Then what will happen? Then how the system will behave?
So like I think it shows a error.
Yes, that's where namespace comes in. Okay. So
Okay,
uh, if I try to create another class, so what will happen once you are installing this package? It will try to create another class along with other elements. It will try to create another class with the same name, correct?
okay,
Like this. So what will happen? This error should be coming up, right? Because
okay.
ultimately it is trying to create all those entities, right?
Sorted.
So this cannot get. Now what will happen? So I am free to name my class as demo class. You are also free to name your class as demo class, correct? Then
Mm,
how you can use my application if I am having a class name as demo class in it? You can use it by differing the namespace. Okay. So name, once you register your namespace now here, let me tell you here.
okay.
Okay. Once you register your namespace, you have to check the availability. Okay.
Okay,
Throughout.
so is it works for all over the orgs like present over a Salesforce platform or like what?
Yes. Okay, you see that. Okay, you can take more information from here. Okay, you see here, just go to package manager, name specific 1 to
Okay,
50 character alphanumeric namespace. Every namespace is unique across the Salesforce orgs. Okay, Once you register a namespace, you can't change it. Correct?
Right.
Now you register that namespace, then now what will happen, that all, because unless you have a namespace, you cannot publish your application. Your application will always be published with your namespace. So now you are having demo class, but my application is going to have my namespace like this: namespace, sorry, namespace underscore underscore, and then demo class. You understood? Now, since
So,
this is unique, correct? Every time anywhere this code is going to go, it is unique, correct? So it
right.
does not matter if you are having the demo class in your org, it will always install without any problem, correct? Because this namespace you cannot have, only I can have this namespace. So wherever this is going, this class name would be unique every time. That makes
Hmm.
sense,
Yeah, got it.
correct? Now name, once namespace would be reacting like it's a organization itself. Okay, so if I am mentioning global in my class, okay, then my, the if any other class is having, consider that I have a namespace underscore underscore demo class that is mentioned as global, correct? Now you want to use that class in your org, right? Then you can use it. If it is basically public or private, you cannot use it. Only code having that particular namespace can be used. It can use it. Okay, this might be appearing a little bit complex, but namespace shared code should be global. Okay, so if I have packaged any of the code that is having global access modifier, that class, if you install it, that class you can use inside your org. Okay, that you can use. So this is the second example I'm telling you. Okay, that is also considered that it is outside your namespace, outside your org. Understood? Because namespace is directly related to your org only. Making sense
Okay,
here?
this is not having any kind of. Is it related to access modifier or like having
Ah,
like for?
yes, yes. That's what I'm telling you. Na? One example I told you, once you are building a class for outside the system, you have to mention is global, correct?
Okay,
Second example I'm telling you, if you want to have any other org having access of your code or your org code.
okay. So
So
like you are
since
explaining
I'm
the two.
having a namespace, okay, that code belongs to me, not you. Okay. So
Okay,
if you want to access that code in your org, and for that I have to mention that as a global. If I have mentioned that as a global, then you can use that class in your org as well. If you are having that installed, you can use that class methods and everything in your class. If they should be
okay.
okay.
So like there is a two scenarios. Like one is for REST APIs, and second for like if we are having a any packages, if we are just going to publish any app on a market, like app exchange. So like we use a global variable, right? For like
You just do one liner that is called outside your namespace. Okay.
yeah.
So if you are having public, then all the entities with your namespace can use that class, right? But
Okay,
any entity that is not having your namespace can use a namespace class that is having global into it. Okay. So that is also considered outside the organization. Okay. Or you can call it outside the namespace. Okay. I might have mentioned in there. You see across namespaces, correct?
okay,
Used in managed packages, correct? I
got
can
it.
show you examples also, but it will take a lot of time. Okay, and maybe if you want, I'll show you. I have orgs with namespaces. Okay, and there I have code also. Okay, so everywhere maybe I'll show you so that it's a valid question, obviously. So batch 4.
No, no, Abhishek, no need to go deeper. I was just check with myself. If I'm having any doubt, I can just connect with you. Okay.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so that is basically across the namespaces you can share your class. Okay, across the namespace means outside your organization or outside your namespace. Since one org can have only one namespace. Okay, if it
Got
is
it.
not Java. Okay, that is all packaging concept. Okay, but namespace is something like associated with your org that you must consider. Okay,
Okay.
so there you use global. Now, what we were discussing that if your class is having uh, I mean, class cannot be more restrictive than the inner variables and methods. Okay, so if you are having global here, then obviously the class would be global. Okay, if you are having private, sorry, if class is private, then all the methods and variables cannot be more open than private. If it is public, cannot be more than public. If it is global, obviously all can be global. Okay, so that's the error that you are going to get. Anyway, it will not compile. Okay, this much is clear, guys.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now we'll be moving forward. Access modifiers we have discussed. Okay, so access modifier you can have here. Let me have all those public. Okay, here. Okay. Now we are having access modifiers. This class, let it be there. It is not doing anything. Okay, that way you can have classes inside classes as well. Okay, but once classes inside classes you can have, but inside this class it will not allow. Okay, that is also important concept. Okay, this will use anyway in what you say wrappers. Okay, so inner types are not allowed. Okay, that means inner classes of topmost class is allowed, but inner class of that class, second level class, is not allowed. Okay, so always remember that you can have only one level deep class structure here. Okay, so that is also important thing. Don't worry about it. We'll be discussing it again in the wrapper classes concept. Okay, now here we are having this class declaration here. Okay, another class declaration, although for now it is not, you don't have to bother about. Then we are having variable declaration. Okay, let me see if I'm having next things. Class declaration we discussed, variables. Okay, in this we are having variables. These are like fields. Okay, so every field, if you see here in any of the object manager, okay, every field is having data type, right? So more or less these variables are same way. They, again, remember, strongly typed. So whenever you are mentioning any of the variable, okay, here we are declaring only that this is the variable. I'll be storing something in int later. Okay, so you have to mention the data type of that variable. That later I will be mentioning string into it. Okay, or I will be assigning a string into it. Okay, what is assignment? That also we will be seeing it. Okay, and this,
Abhishek,
yes.
if we declare some variable and we didn't use that, so at the time of we just run that class, so it show any error like it is a variable you
No, no,
declare it.
no error. No, if not using it, no problem. It will just be remain like that. It will be declared. Okay, it will be ready for use, but obviously you have not used it. No error. Okay,
Okay, okay.
so we'll be doing that also. Okay, don't worry. So I'll take that scenario. Okay, now uh, this basically is like class level variables. So variables you can have at the two level. Okay, there is class. Okay, this class. Okay, let me remove this, otherwise it will create confusion. Okay, so this is just like class level, because if you see, this is variable declaration, and the topmost, or you can say adjacent curly braces, is of class. Okay, that way you can understand. Or obviously this is inside class only, right? Either I declare it here or I declare it here, it does not matter. Okay, it is just at the class level, because it is not inside another curly braces. Okay, so the topmost curly braces is this, then we are having this thing, and then we are having this thing, and then we are having this thing. Okay, now we are discussing this is called variable declaration. Okay, now this is class level variable. Okay, obviously you don't have to segregate like that, but you should be knowing, because the access of this variable will be changing like that. Okay, or the scope would be changing. I'll tell you what is scope is. Okay, now for now we are not more much bothered about constructor. Okay, let it be there. Okay, we are talking about variables for now. So this is class level variable. Variable declaration, same way, you are going to have access modifier. Okay, then you are going to have data type, and then you are going to have variable. Okay, now once you are declaring only, okay, so you don't have to assign any values. Okay, the second thing is called initialization. Initialization means you are declaring a variable, as well as you are putting a value into it. Okay, that is called initialization. Then there is assignment. Assignment means you are assigning some value into it. I'll tell you how. Okay, now while you are doing variable declarations, okay, now you see I have done something here. Okay, so now it is having like this data type and variable name itself. Now this, you see, variable name is in camel case. Camel case means it will start from a small letter, okay, and all the spaces would be removed, and the next letter of that would be capitalized. Okay, so camel is like that, na? It is a hump, then like this. So that's how it is like that. Okay.
So Abhishek, you mentioned about like initialization, assignment, and variable declaration. So like as you declare the variable, so you mentioned about initialization and assignment.
Hmm.
So like in the initial, I'm getting confused. Like what is
No
different
worries.
between?
I'll tell you right now. I have declared this variable, correct?
Yeah, right,
I
right,
will give
right.
you initialization and assignment as well. Everything we are going to cover. Okay. Now,
Okay,
here you see I have done two things. I have removed the access modifiers, right? Access
right,
modifiers. And then this variable is there. Just after that, any of end of the line would be having this semicolon. That means this is end of the line. Okay.
right, right,
Now, data type I cannot remove. If I remove data type, since the language is strongly typed, everywhere you are mentioning any of the variable, okay, you have to mention the data type. That's where we are going to get error. Okay, so we are getting this, whatever it is sensing, it is giving this. Okay, so data type you have to mention. I'll give you document on data type, how many data types are there. I'll be covering those also. For now, you take string. String is like text. Okay, so here you are having text. Now wherever you are having text, that same thing meaning string there. Okay, so sometimes if you have to pull this value and assign to some variable here, that variable will be having string type here. Okay, string means text type. Okay.
okay. So
Now
like in a Salesforce, we having there are two special kind of data types like blob and like as objects. So we can also create that data type variable as well.
yes, blob we are not talking about for now. Yes, for now you understand these data types that we are having here, right? Text,
Okay.
numbers, okay, pick list, relationship.
And
I'll
what
tell you.
about as objects? What about as objects?
We'll be reaching there. We'll be reaching there. Don't worry. Okay. So that is also a data type. Okay. In Salesforce, we'll be reaching there. For now, we are just learning about declaring a variable. Okay. Once we'll be discussing about data types, all the way there we have S objects also. Okay. So we'll be discussing that also. For now, I'm just telling you, if there is any text that you want to store here in Apex, you have to store
Okay.
in a type of string. Okay. Same way, if you want to store any whole number, for that you are having integer. Okay, like this. Correct? That is going to store number, and that's what you call here
If
number.
we if we use in place of integer int, so it shows error any kind of
What is that?
int.
No, no, int it would not take. So I told you, na, it is like result keyword. Okay, so I mean,
Okay.
Java is a little bit different. I mean, it's not exactly same. Okay, so you see, invalid type int. Okay, so integer is what you have to use for
Okay.
numbers. Okay, and then you are having double, decimal.
Okay.
Okay, for decimal. Okay, so I'll give you the list. Okay, don't worry about it. I'm just telling you, at least these you should be knowing for now. That would be solving our purpose of getting a hands-on with variables. Later, once we are discussing in depth the data types, okay, I'll tell you all the data types. Let it be primitive, non-primitives, and everything. Okay, so we discuss everything: list, set, map, all those things we discuss here. Okay, for now, since I have to declare at least one type, that's why I'm using this string type. Okay, or integer decimal also I can use, not a problem. Okay, this is example variable, that name I have given. Correct, and then I have used this colon. Correct, semicolon. Now, this is called declaration of the variable. Variables will also be having access modifier, data type, and then variable name. Understood? That's how we declare any variable. Now, since I have not mentioned any access modifier here, default access modifier is private. Okay? So that you remember, if you're not mentioning any access modifier, that is private here in variables. In method also, I believe that does. Okay? So If you have to explicitly set the access modifier as public or global, then you have to set it. If you are not setting anything, then default is private. That you should be remembering. Okay, so fine. I'm going to use public for now so that it is making sense for you right now. Okay, now access modifier, data type, and variable, and then semicolon, finish. This is declaration of variable. Now I am going to have another variable that is integer. Okay, some number. Okay, and correct. Now this is called initialization. That means you are declaring as well as you are assigning some value into it. Okay, here we can assign only numbers because it is integer. Okay, so you are declaring a variable, along with that you are assigning a initial value. Okay, that at the time of declaration it will have value 10. This is called initialization. This is called declaration. Correct, this much is clear, these two keywords. uh,
Yes,
whoever,
yes.
right? Now third thing comes up, assignment. Okay, so assignment you can do it. Okay, right now here you cannot do it at the class level. Any logic that you are going to write that you should be writing inside the method. Okay, so I'll tell you about the method, but right now you see code logic is here, so I can write logic here. So assignment is logic, right? So this variable, those class level variables, this constructor, let me remove the constructor. Okay, constructor we discussed separately. I'll tell you what constructor is. Okay, don't worry about that. In most of the cases you're not going to use it. Okay, but where to use, I'll tell you. Now we are having variables. Okay, let me, now you know pretty much it is variable. Okay, let me remove that and method also, and so that you see the code very clean. Okay, now class is there and we are having class level variables. These class level variables can be accessed throughout the class. Means if you are having multiple methods, okay, inside those methods you can have those variables accessed. Okay, now how to access the variable? Just simply name those. Okay, I'll copy those, and then I am assigning some value. My first value. Now why inside single quote? Because string is always mentioned, string means text is always mentioned inside single quote, and this variable can only take strings, right? Because we have mentioned the data type that would be stored in it will be a string. So this is the value that I am storing in it. Correct. Now this is called assignment. Now guys, wherever I'm putting these two backslashes, okay, uh, after that whatever you are going to write will be comment. Okay, so that way you can comment. Okay, so any line, if I comment like this, the whole line would be commented. Okay, after that, so this is not considered as code, this is considered as comments. Okay, so now this is assignment. Correct. Now 55, this is also assignment or reassignment. That does not mean anything, but
If this is also a variable, why its color showing black? Is it
it
for you
will,
set for integer?
no, it will change automatically in some time as soon as it is saved. Okay,
Okay, okay, okay.
now you know it's a variable. Okay, now this is assignment. Now all three things you can see in front of your eyes, right? Variable declaration,
Got it, got it.
initialization, and assignment. One
Okay.
more thing. One more thing. Correct. Now here we are having
Correct.
this also. This is also
A variable,
declaration. Correct.
right?
Declaration. Okay. Maybe I have mentioned. Okay. This is also declaration, but this we are declaring inside the method. Okay. Now consider that I am putting public here. Now, public is not allowed on locals. What does it mean? This is local variable, right? Local means local to this method, correct? Or either you call it local level or you call it method level, correct? And here you cannot put access modifier. Why is that? Because this method itself would be, sorry, this variable itself would be taking the access modifier of method. Okay, so first let me remove this. This variable can be accessed anywhere in the class, but this method, sorry, I'm talking about method, sorry guys. Okay, this variable can be accessed throughout the class, but this variable can be accessed inside this method only. Okay, let me prove that also.
But if we want to access a local variable within class itself, like out of the method, so we
Hmm.
can use like class dot like method dot variable name. Is it possible?
No, 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 not like that. Okay, so class level variable you can access class dot variable. Okay, but
Okay.
with method level. So there is a way you can extract the value, but this variable is not accessible. That's what I'm going to show you. Okay, now here if you see, you are having
So there
this.
is a there is a no another method we can use a method level variable in a whole class, right?
We can. For that we have to use class level variable as intermediate. Okay, so
Sorry.
we can use class level variables as intermediate variables. Okay,
Okay.
like. Uh, you are having this method access till here, okay, till this part, right? And
Right.
whenever you need this you can say value in other method, okay, you assign this value into a class level variable and that variable can be accessed here, right? So it's not that much tough, that's why no one bothers about it. Okay, I'll show you, don't worry. Okay.
Okay, for that accessing a method level variable, we need to create one class level variable first, and then assign the
Yeah,
value of that method level variable into a class level variable, and then access into a different method, right?
exactly. Okay.
Okay.
Now see here what I am doing. I am accessing a class level variable and I am trying to access a method level variable or local variable. That what type it is. Correct. This is another method, right? Eh? So you don't worry about method signature here. Okay, what I am doing right now, like but for now it is another method. It is another method. Okay. Now you see variable does not exist. It is telling you that this variable, you see error here,
Yeah.
this does not exist. But this one is
Right.
fine.
Right.
This
Right.
one either we are accessing in this method or in this method, but this we cannot access. Why is that? Because this we can access here very clearly, not a problem. Okay, that will not create an issue. But here we cannot access it. If I comment it and compile it, it will be fine, right? So here you can access it, this method level variable, and here you can access in all of the methods you can access class level variable. So now you decide the utility, okay, if any variable is to be used throughout the methods, okay, or across the
Can you
method.
please just can you please just show that doing that using method level variable into a different method level by using a class variable as you told?
Okay, I'll show you that. Okay, this much is clear now. You cannot use variables
Yes.
out
Yes.
here,
Clear.
right?
Clear. Clear. Yeah.
Now consider that here we are assigning this value here. Okay, although I'm not showing you the debug, but anyway, I'll execute it once. Okay, now this is having test value from method one. Okay, now sorry guys. Okay, example variable is a string variable that we can use. Correct. Now I'll assign the value of this method level variable into this. Okay, now whatever value this variable is having in this line, this variable will be passing this value into this. Correct. This much is
Okay,
clear.
so that value of example variable get override.
Yes, exactly. So whatever we are putting here, till here it would be having value, my first value till here, okay? And after this line, it would be having this value, correct? This would be overwritten. Now, finally, the example variable is having this value, right? Now you are saying that this value you want into this method, correct? So no problem. Here we'll be just debugging it. This is like printing any of the code. Okay, so that also will be teaching you, but since you asked, that's why I'm putting it here. Okay, example variable. This also we don't need. Okay, because it will override again. Okay, now I'm just printing this example variable. Ultimately, you want this value there, right? So what you have to do, not needed. That is fine. Okay, that is also not needed. That is also not needed. Correct. Not. It is making sense. Clear for you, right?
Right. So only the value of local method we can use by like just using a global variable, but we didn't use that specific variable into like another method, right?
That we cannot use because that is having scope till that method only. Okay.
But in Java we can use that, na?
I'm not using Java that much, so I cannot tell you that. But scope is same for Java and Apex also. I'm not sure if you are saying correct thing. I have to say that, see that. But I think scope is same in Apex and Java. There's no difference in that.
No, but the thing is that if you are having a like a local variable, na, so you
Uh-huh.
can just like use it by class dot that local method variable. You can use it in a like a global
No, no,
like
no,
in a class.
no. No, no, no. I don't think so because this concept is same in Java. That is subjected to check. We can check that this variable if you
Okay,
want to access anywhere in other
okay,
classes, right?
right, right,
Then you can
right,
use demo class dot example variable. That is fine.
right,
But
right.
if you say method, there's nothing like method dot variable because whenever you are going to use method, you have to execute it or basically method is for execution, right?
Okay,
Variables inside that you cannot access, I believe. I'll check that anyway. You put that prompt over AI, you'll get that, but I don't think so you can do that. Okay, even though in Java, because core concept of Java and Apex is same. Scope, I mean, you can have list declared different way. Okay, you can have all those things, but the scoping is, I don't think there should be any difference. Okay.
okay. Abhishek, I got confused because of like in a method, but
uh,
like
Class variable you can do that.
yeah, got it.
uh,
Like
So here
totally fine.
CPs are not static. Okay, so I have to create an instance. I'll be reaching there. I did not want to go there like this, but like, okay. So now we are creating an instance. Dot. Let's see this number. Okay, that is what you are explaining here. Okay, so if I do that, I think it should be correct. Okay, you are getting 10 printed, right? You got the access. But if you say something like method dot, this is not possible. That doesn't happen. Okay, for that you have to do this. Okay, it is clear. Although you cross check once, okay, I don't work in Java, so I'm not that much confident, but scope doesn't change throughout Java concept or oops concept. Okay, this is same, right?
Right. I just got little bit confused in like class variable, instance variable, and static variable. That's why I got
Yes.
confused.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
sorry about it.
That's right.
So
No
sorry.
worries.
So sorry.
It's good you're putting your head into. Okay. Now at least variables we are clear, right? Declaration of variables, once you are doing at the class level, you should be having the access modifier. Okay, if you're not having access modifier, default is private. Okay, then at the method level you cannot have access modifiers because it would be taking automatically the scope of that method. It is always private to method. Okay, that's why you don't have to mention the access modifier, and the scope of this variable is till these curly braces. Okay, and scope of this variable is till these curly braces, these class curly braces. Okay, that's how it is. And once you are having global, obviously that is totally different scenario. Okay, now in this is variables. Okay, after that let me see. Any questions here, guys? You can ask. Okay. Whatever I have done, this execution, everything, you don't worry about. Again, I'm going to do everything. First, I will be mentioning what is method, okay, and then what is constructor, and then after that, I'll tell you how to execute the method, a static method how to execute, and non-static method how to execute, and what is non-static. These are building blocks of Apex. So this should be crystal clear to you. Okay. Only then I'm going to write, or you are going to write the logic. Okay. If you're trying to write the logic, stop it now unless we finish that. Okay. Because if you get that idea, it would be cream for you again. Just going forward. Okay. Till then, you don't bother about writing the. So class declaration, variable declarations, class level variable declarations, method level variable declarations. Now we have to learn about method declarations and mentioning the return type and everything that we are going to discuss, and how to call the methods, means how to execute your code. Okay, we'll be using our anonymous window. Okay, and how to exactly we can run this code, because that also we have to learn, right? For someone who does not know, for those who knows, that is fine. Okay, so in the next session we'll be starting from method declaration and understanding the syntax here, scoping, and then further how to execute. Okay, so let's halt here, and we'll be resuming in the next session. Any questions still here regarding anything, how we are going to proceed, indexes, documents, anything you can ask right now. Anyone, any questions?
No, no, not Abhishek. But you can just provide the documentation for the today class. That's going to be more helpful.
Yep, for every class you are going to get documents uploaded in the drive. Okay, I'll tell Money to upload. Okay.
Okay,
Hi
okay.
Abhishek,
Hi.
Akshay here.
Yep.
Abhishek, actually, I'm working as an intern in a company. Actually,
Hmm.
more focused in Agent Force and Data Cloud only. But
Hmm.
I'm not getting more uh, experience here in the Apex side.
Hmm.
So for that only, I needed to join this class. And
No.
actually, I also wanted to switch to more dev
Hmm.
specific roles. So for that. I
Hmm.
also asked Manideep as well. Actually, I'm a previous student of Agent Force also of Manideep.
Okay. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So fine. That means if you are working on Agent Force and Data Cloud, that means you are well versed with admin part, right?
Sorry, you're not audible.
I'm saying since you are working in Agent Force and Data Cloud, I can consider that you know admin well, right?
Yeah.
No worries. We are starting Apex, right? So till flows and obviously, if you know Agent Force, you know flows and all those things anyway, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
here Apex also will be used in Agent Force. You know that, right? For complex
Yes.
logic,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So from here we are starting basics. This is the first class itself. Okay. So we are going with very basic level, and then slowly we are going to speed up in things. Okay. So
Sure. Sure.
don't miss any of these starting classes. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
Later, once things are a little bit obvious for you, okay, then only you can have recordings and value. So for 2 3 weeks, 2 weeks at least, 2 weekends, you join these classes. Okay. And once basics are clear, okay, you focus on Apex for now. Later, because in Agent Force everything is used, LWC,
Yeah.
Apex.
But actually, in my company, they are not letting me to do other things.
Correct.
Most focused on flows and prompting only. So that's
Hmm.
why I'm stuck over here. So that's why I needed to switch and I
That's
asked
fine.
to
Till then,
Manideep as well. Yeah.
till then you are having work to do that only, but you are having time to refine your development skills, right?
Sure.
Then
Sure.
we'll be having integrations here also discussed. That is also part of, you can say, very big organizations are having always integration with their systems, right?
Yeah.
So it's good that you are getting work related to other things like agent force, data cloud, and all those things. And till then you are refining your skills, okay, in
Yeah.
development. Then you
Uh,
are going to have a full-fledged, you can say, 360 view of Salesforce, right? You know the
yeah.
modern technologies also, as well as the core technologies also, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, do you also provide placement assistance regarding after this? Actually,
Uh, that you can discuss separately with Money. Okay, we
okay.
provide assistance, not like job guarantee.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Yeah, yeah.
Assistance is free of cost. We don't, I mean, like charge anything or something like that. It is just if any possibilities there, we forward.
Hmm.
Okay, it's without any cost. It is just a courtesy. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I will be finishing my this project.
Hmm.
Might be next month. So